The Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria has projected that the pump price of petrol in Nigeria would rise to between 700 naira and 800 naira per liter if the incoming administration finally deregulates the downstream petroleum sector and abolishes the wasteful subsidy regime. The National Operations Controller of IPMEN, Mike Osatuyi, also predicted that the volume of petrol consumed in the country daily may also drop to about 40 million liters from the 60 to 70 million liters reported by the National Nigerian Petroleum Company Limited. He urged Nigeria's president-elect Bola Tinubu to deregulate the downstream sector and remove petrol subsidies as he had promised during his campaigns. Well, the national president of the Petroleum Products Retail Outlets Owners Association of Nigeria, Dr. Gillis-Harry, joins us now to discuss the deregulation of petrol price and what measures the government need to put in place to mitigate the effects. Thank you so much for joining us on Newsday. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Well, discussions about taking off the subsidies and the deregulation of petrol price, very big topic right now. Could you give us first of all, do you think it's something that will be done, like they said, by June? And second of all, how the effects will affect Nigerians' bottom line?
Well, thank you so very much, and thank you for having me on this program. The regulation, as we already know, is a very, very topical subject in this season and this time. The administration that's going out has already earmarked that by June, the regulation will set in and subsidy will be removed. It is a very big subject because it will impact a lot of issues concerning the economy. So I think, by all means, the incoming administration should have the political will and desire to grow the economy effectively and efficiently by removing subsidy and ensuring that the regulation sets in effectively. In order to do that, there are quite a lot of things that need to be put together, and that is why stakeholders are already discussing the day before, the day during, and the day after the regulation sets in. So I think it will be something that Nigeria should be encouraged to embrace. The authorities should have the political will to ensure that we do it, so that we can grow the economy, practically with real-time pricing, real-time issues on those things that drive our power and our energy. So as far as I'm concerned, from what I see and the discussions that have been held so far, the regulation is going to set in shortly.
Now, we understand that Nigerians may have to pay as much as 700 to 800 naira per litre for petrol when fuel subsidies are removed. So, are there measures that can be undertaken probably to cushion this effect when eventually the deregulation is completed?
Well, it's very critical that the government should take steps to review every issue that will come out, will be a fallout for deregulation to effectively set in. There are quite a number of things that need to be done. We should have our in-country refining capacity, increased and efficient. Port Harcourt refinery that has 2 refineries there should be up and running. We're also expecting that the Dangote refinery should set in. At least these 2 refineries will give, even the Warri refinery should, at least between this period, also be certain, at least up to maybe July to August. I think Warri refinery should also be encouraged to come in. Now, with this in-country refining capacity, established, and domestic crude crude oil that is earmarked for domestic production of PMS and all the petroleum product derivatives should be put in place. And then, of course, what we now see as subsidy that's rising to trillions of naira should be deployed into more effective, more productive sectors of the economy. There should be some kind of palliative that should be worked out for transportation. Our rail lines should be encouraged to be efficient. We should move speedily and factually into gas to energy. We should be able to have the auto gas project, kicked off, so that way there is a cushion. So there's not so much dependence on petrol, but gas can also fire our cars and then give us enough, off-grid power to be able to run the economy. So these are some of the few things that I think that should be looked into by our government and also by all the agencies that are involved in the process of getting to the point where the regulation sets in. As far as price increased between 700 to 800 naira a liter, well, in my capacity as the most impacted association in this, because we are the last mile, the retail outlets, the receptacles that hold the PMS that eventually get dispensed through the retail outlets, we will not in any way want to anticipate, prices at this time, because there will be quite a number of issues that will determine that. If we are going to have in-country PMS refined and supplied, then the dollar component of paying for transportation from foreign is going to be removed. If we're going to be taken by trucks directly from the refineries, there's also the in-country mother vessel to daughter vessel movement to depots will also be removed. So when these dollar components are effectively and efficiently removed, of course it's going to impact on the price, and the price will probably not be as high as that. So what I will suggest for pricing is that we should endeavor as much as possible to keep the price within an affordable range. That will be realistic, that will be true, and is properly analyzed, not just an armchair projection as it was done in years past, where we just have a price bandwidth that's giving the lower band and the higher bandwidth. So those, I guess, should be able to should give way in the period of the regulation. And of course, don't forget that in the regulating, there will be the expectation that associations like ours that are populated with so many retail outlet owners should be able to come together and then be able to import our own petroleum products and also work very closely with NNPC and the authorities to work efficiently to make sure that the refineries are working. So if this is the case, the pricing of petrol may not be as volatile as it's already anticipated, but we will encourage that Nigerians should expect that the regulation will be in our best interest. So that's what I will say at this time.
Thank you for that. And for Nigerians expecting this to be in their best interest, most understand the necessity for these acts, the removal of subsidies, etc. But I think we can both agree that there is a large amount of our population who the message might not have gotten to, those who are struggling with inflation and just the day-to-day living within Nigeria. I'm wondering if there will be an active and aggressive sensitization campaign on behalf of those individuals, because we do remember that back in 2012, when the subsidies were removed, there was quite a bit of backlash and misinformation. So will the petroleum products retail owners of Nigeria, will they go on a sensitization campaign on their own in order to explain to Nigerians what's going on, as the federal government might or might not do?
Well, as a very responsible organization, Petron, as an organization, has been at the forefront of ensuring, because we actually represent so many bandwidths of the stakeholder associations. Every association ends up having retail outlets, and these retail outlets are all committed into the Petron membership. So we really have been trying to make sure that we explain to Nigerians what the regulation is all about, what subsidy removal should be, and how it's going to impact positively in establishing consistent growth of our economy. Yes, we offer to do that, but we're going to do that in collaboration with MOMAN, with DAPMAN, with IPMAN, with all the other downstream organizations, including the NUPENG. And I think that when these organizations that have already started to show this level of responsibility, because for us to have a stakeholder meeting that went across the whole of the stakeholders, including our regulators, it actually shows that we are trying to be transparent and be responsible to ensure that Nigerians are aware of what is going on, what to expect, and that they are not kept in the dark. In fact, in the last Pali that we had, the workshop we had, even the Consumer Protection Agency was there to discuss what exactly they are hoping and expecting to see in a deregulated petroleum downstream economy. And we encourage that. In fact, I personally, as the president of the Retail Outlet Owners Association, encourage Nigerian consumers to be part of our process so that we can disseminate accurate information in real time. The Labour Congress also should be part of what we're doing so everybody understands that this is a benefit, these are challenges, these are what we should do to mitigate all challenges and be able to get answers so that in a deregulated downstream regime or season, there shouldn't be any misunderstanding, there shouldn't be misinformation, and everybody should be able to expect what they want to see. So we do offer, and we are going to do that aggressively.
Dr. Billy Gillis-Harry, National President, Petroleum Products Retail Outlet Owners Association of Nigeria, thank you so much for joining us on Newsday.